Okay, folks, welcome to this week's Fife Property Update. This is from the 16th of July to the 22nd of July, looking right across the whole of the Fife property market to see where we are in terms of the number of properties coming on versus the number of properties actually sold. This gives a great indication about supply and demand, and if prices are raising, if prices are staying stable, or if prices are actually falling. This should give us a good indication, combined with the previous weeks as well, and the previous months. And forecasting of where we're needing to go as well. Going to talk about a couple of articles. We're also going to talk about some of the properties that have actually sold with us this week. Gives a good indication of what these types of properties are actually going for, what price range, and how quick they're going. Also, properties that are actually coming onto market, and then we'll be talking about properties coming on and keys handed over. Finally, we'll be finishing off with the wealth creation show tomorrow, and having a wee chat about that as well, and telling you all about it, about distractions. Sorry, what was that? There you go, distractions. Easily distracted. Anyway, let's crack on and talk about the numbers right across the Fife property market. Here we go here. This is actually quite interesting for the week. Again, just reaffirming where we are. Cooper, 9 came on, 9 actually sold. So stable market in Cooper. East Neuk, 6 came on, 5 sold. Again, St Andrews, 4, 5. Leadmouth, 16, 13 came on. 13 actually sold. Dunfermline, 54 came on, 49 sold. Glenrothes, 16 came on, 8 sold. I've got a funny feeling Glenrothes is quite high in consideration. A lot of people actually probably putting their house in the market to get some of the new builds, which are actually getting built in Glenrothes just now. And that's probably why there's a lot coming on in Glenrothes. But that might change next week. That might go the other way around where 8 came on and 16 get sold. It was really buoyant last week anyway, so it's kind of leveling itself out this week. Kirkcaldy, 22 versus 16. Overall, 127 properties came onto the market in the week, which is round about 18 a day. So 18 properties came on a day, and then subsequently 15 properties sold every day. And that's about right. That's a really good stable market, because the difference between the 18 and the 3 actually, the 15, which is the 3, that tends to be people that are actually, probably deceased estates, people selling 2 properties to move into 1 property, people actually selling up completely and not going on to buy again, because they're maybe going to rent from then on. That's why it's okay if that's a wee bit less than before. It's when it's dramatically less is a different. Interestingly enough, I'm actually going to show you from the very start, from round about 2003 right up to today, how many properties were on the market at any one point in time in the UK. This will give us a strong indication of if there's going to be any house price crashes. This gives a real strong indication, these numbers and this data. So watch out for this. We're actually going to go into it right now. Let's pop onto this graph now and let's see this. Okay, so this is the UK house price data from 2003. Now, you won't be able to see the most of that. I'll just explain to you. There's 200,000, 400,000, 600,000 up the side here. 800, a million, 1.2 million, 1.4 million, 1.6 million. And right along there, along the bottom, 2003, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, all up the way to 21. Now, I do have 21 and onwards on a different graph, but due to the uniqueness of this was information I had before, and then I got additional information just to add on to the end of this. Now, everybody keeps asking, I'm going to hold off for a house price crash. Properties in Fife have gone up 4.8% in the last year on average to £170,171. That's the data this week from the house registrars, from the land registry. So it's important. I've got this last year where everybody says, I'll hold off, because I think prices are going to go down. And guess what? They didn't. And I think the same is going to happen again in the lower end to the medium end of the market, which is about up to the 250, 300,000. We will still have a really good market because affordability is still there. 300,000 onwards is going to be a wee bit more challenging, but they will still move within a period of time when the right person comes along. So there'll be less people to accommodate that in terms of the audiences, what there was before. But in the lower end, up to the 250,000, yeah, good buying power, still strong demand, still a really good market to sell and to buy property right now. Okay, so let's jump back to this graph. So here we are here, and this is actually quite revealing. So we're looking on here, and in 2003, there was on the market at this point in time, right throughout the UK, was just about 1.1 million properties up for sale. Now, you can see as we came to 2005 and 2006, 2007, it jumped up to 1.4, 1.3, in 2008, it was 1.8, 1.3 again. So 1.3 million were on the market. Now, this is what primarily was due to the huge price decline in properties in the credit crunch. It was a combination of lack of funds. In order, there was no finance available because the banks were not lending. They reined in all their lending because they had huge liquidity problems. Plus the fact there was a lot of properties getting dumped on the market because at the same time, because people were beginning to panic a wee bit. And that's what pushed all the supply up. So there was a huge oversupply combined with a lack of finance. Therefore, what happened to that, as you can see in the graph there, as it came to 2008, it dropped like a stone as the number of properties actually became available onto the market coming on was dropped and reduced dramatically for that period of time until we alleviated ourselves through this. Now, coming into 2018, we were only down at right throughout the UK, around about 400,000 available. And then it went up again, and then it came back down to that, and then it came back up, and it's round about the 550,000 mark. Now, roll it on from 2021 to 2023, which is now 550,000. Here they are. We go right down, lack of supply. That's what caused the boom. The availability of finance, really low, cheap finance was there. Plus the lack of stock in the UK actually caused this boom, and prices started to rise dramatically. And then everybody started to realize when we came out of the pandemic, I tell you what, let's put my house on the market and get it for sale, sold, because I now have different choices. And this is where this started to jump up again. But it was no worse than what it was before pre-pandemic. And then it started to jump up again. And right now, today, we're round about 650,000 on the market for sale at this point in time, right through the UK. But I'll bring you back to saying the difference here is we have huge amounts of finance still available from the banks. Liquidity problems are not a problem because everybody's been stress tested. I've got current mortgages since 2014, plus the fact if we've only got 650,000 on and the peak was 1.4 million, we're not even halfway there. We're not even halfway there to an oversupply issue. Not even halfway there. So therefore, we've still got an undersupply issue, really, in terms of that. But finance is still readily available as well. This is why the market will continue to be very buoyant and will continue to move quite considerably up to the 250, 300,000 mark. Definitely, I would say. So I think and I predict the market will be stable coming on. I don't think economic think tanks have still factored this in. I don't think their forecast modelling, the Times was talking about it today when I was reading the article, their model for forecasting UK economics and the housing market as well. There's doubts on it now about it being fundamentally flawed in terms of their logic and thinking, because the current circumstances now are a bit in contrast to what they knew before. Because typically when base rates go up, there's lack of finance, but unemployment goes up as well, which it hasn't. And therefore, when finance goes down as well, unemployment should be petering up a bit as well. But it's not. So they don't know what's happening. They don't know how to forecast a model for that. Therefore, they're not very sure about what's going to happen. They're predicting that house prices will drop now by 2024. So at the end of 2024 by 12%. It's like, well, wait a minute. I thought we were predicting we were doing between 5 and 10 now. It's like, no. We're now pushing that out further. So it seems it's they're continually getting it. Well, just let's say they're continually getting it wrong. I don't know if there's any other phrase for this. So I still think, due to the not enough clear data and the facts staring us in the face, that the only two factors that will influence us now are the continual rise of base rates and possibly the continual effort with that to try and curb inflation. There's two factors outside our control in inflation. I did 4 there, but it's 2. There's 2 factors outside our control in inflation. It's energy prices. But they have actually come down apparently by 50%. And also food prices, which we intend to export quite a bit from other countries who are outside of our control in terms of pricing, because we don't really have any European agreements anymore, as far as I'm aware, in terms of standard pricing between countries now, because we've come out of the European Union and Brexit. So that's what makes a fundamental difference, plus the availability of migrants or to come into the country in order to work, which actually keeps our unemployment very, very low just now because we've not got enough people to fill the jobs currently available. So that keeps the economy very, very buoyant in terms of keeping everybody employed and keeping the money in the system and keeping it all going back into the UK rather than going somewhere else. So hopefully that's giving you a rough indication about where things are. But for now, I think nothing to worry about really. I think the market will still continue to be very, very stable and continue to go on as well. Okay, so let's jump on to a couple of articles before we come on to what's getting listed in the next couple of weeks. Let's talk about the too many tenants. I actually did this yesterday with Richard. Too many tenants, how to pick the best tenants for your best rental properties, how to get it right, how to reference them. Also, we had lots of advice there for tenants on how to make sure you get the right landlord as well and the right letting agent. So it's a really good show, good podcast on there. If you're wanting to watch that, read that, or listen to the podcast, just click on the link in this post, and then it'll take you on to the different podcasts available, and then you can click on that link and listen, watch, and read at your leisure. Rise of bungalows in Fife is actually quite an important one I did as well during the week myself. Discovering the trends. Now people are more likely looking for bungalows, and they're going to be probably one of the most aspirational things that people are looking for in the near future. UK House Price Index, as I said, was out for May 2023. Average house prices in Scotland increased by 3.2%. Fife, it was by 4.8%. Average price is still very, very affordable in Scotland. Average price is still very, very affordable in Fife. But England and London tend to be under a wee bit of pressure. So if you want to listen to that or watch that as well, you can click on this link. But let's get on to see what's been listed this week. I'm going to bring what's been sold and what's been listed, if you bear with me. So, sold this week. Main Street, Strathkinnis. It's away. So this one actually came on and it was sold within 2 months, and it was on offers over 480,000. So this is now sold within the 2 month period. Offers over 480,000. It was a 5-bedroom terraced house, as you'll see there. You can see there from here right along, and then it had a driveway going up to a couple of parking spaces and a timber garage to the rear. Big back garden as well. Cracking property. But 480,000 offers over these types of properties are going for in the Strathkinnis area. If that's something like you've got and you're thinking that's a really good price point for what I would expect, then contact us. If you're looking to sell or you're looking for an evaluation or an appraisal of your property to know where you are and know where you stand. Again, I talked about in the rise of the bungalows. Some people are actually waiting for about 3 or 4 years before they find the right bungalow for them. So sometimes it's worth actually starting the journey now, because if you want to downsize within the next 2 or 3 years, you still need to know where you stand in terms of what's the valuation of your house, what should you be doing for your house over the next couple of years, and also where your financing will be over the next couple of years as well. Are you going to downsize and release some money and actually just have no mortgage at all? Are you going to need a mortgage? And then, so it's about speaking to all the right people. So when you do find the property you're after, then you can press the button and you're ready to go. Next one. This was Laurel Avenue in Methil. Actually sold in 10 days. 3-bedroom terraced house. I told you, everything that's under 250,000 is going really well. Listed offers over 130,000. 3-bedroom terraced house in Laurel Avenue in Methil. 10 days it's sold in, and very, very popular, as I said. If you've got a house like this and you're thinking, wow, that price for in there and that time, that I could do with that to exit. Contact us now. Church Street in Fruki, that's away as well. Sold in 6 weeks, 4-bedroom detached bungalow. Listed offers over 350,000. See, even the 350,000s are going quite well. For the right properties, 4-bedroom detached bungalow, which is very desirable. If you've got a property like that, contact us. Birch Tree Place in Thornton. Sold in 2 weeks, 2-bedroom and terrace house. Listed offers over 105,000. Now, one other person missed out on this property. So if you've got a property like that in the Thornton area, and it's a 2-bedroom and terrace house like this one here, as you can see, I'll just circle it with my mouse and the arrow. So this one here, if you've got one like that, offers over 105,000, they're going for 2-bedroom and terrace houses in Birch Tree Place in Thornton. Okay, final one for me is, there's another one that's sold, but we'll talk about that next week because it just sold on Friday night, almost 5 minutes after 5 o'clock. It came in the offer and it was accepted, but we'll talk about that one next week. This one as well, This actually came back on the market. It was taken off last year because the seller was like, I'm having a wee think about this again. We put it back on, sold it in 3 days, and it is away. Orchard Grove in Leven, 1 bedroom upper apartment. It was listed at offers of 100,000. It is now away to a first-time buyer. First-time buyers are still out there in their droves looking for properties like this. So if you've got something like that, contact us today. Anyway, let's talk about what's coming soon. Seggy Drive in Garbridge, 4-bedroom detached house. I will be doing that one tomorrow. That's a beautiful house, that. Cunsey Street and Anstruther, 2-bedroom terrace house. I'll be doing that this week, more than likely. Institution Street, in Buckhaven, 2-bedroom ground floor flat. Brayhead Cooper, 3-bedroom semi-detached house coming onto market soon. Orchard Grove in Leven, just spoke about a 1-bedroom apartment there. We've got a 3-bedroom semi-detached house coming on. Links Road and London Links, 2-bedroom first floor flat coming on. Michael Street in Buckhaven, a 2-bedroom ground floor flat coming on. So if there's any of these properties that you think, wow, I need to know more information about them, or I want to know more information about them, please contact us today and we'll get your details and we'll tell you a bit more when it comes to market. Now, completed, keys handed over. This gives a really good indication about what properties are actually selling for in the area. Now, Lemon Terrace in Leven, 3-bedroom detached house, it's sold in 2 months and it's sold under the home report value, just under the home report value. So it tells you that properties are actually going roundabout for the home report value now because prices have actually caught up to the right pricing. Plus the fact that most sellers or most buyers, the finance options are actually limited now. I talked about that in the house price index about how the affordability and also the bungalows one as well. I talked about that, how affordability has actually dropped by about 30% in terms of people's cash flow every month they can afford towards a mortgage now because interest rates have gone up. So it's costing them a lot more to get that same funding. So they'll have to bring it back now and have less funding for the same amount of money that we had 6 months ago. Hopefully that makes sense. But click on the link, watch the show for UK House Price Index and the rise of the bungalows. Main Street in Connacher, that's a 2-bedroom cottage. It's sold in 3 weeks. And it's sold for just over the home report value, representing another £10,000 to the owner, paid for all their fees, and they've got a wee bit of cash back in the exercise. That's a good deal. And finally, let's just finish off. Richard and I, Wealth Creation Show. This is what we talked about just at the beginning when I went, what's that? What's that? It's like distractions. We're going to talk about in the Wealth Creation Show tomorrow, Richard and I. Is your life sometimes off track because you get distracted by other things, and after a period of time, think, how on earth did I get dragged down that rabbit hole? What was all that about? Distractions. So we're talking about that this morning. Are distractions actually losing you money? You'd be surprised. I think we've all got a wee bit of that, myself included. So we're going to talk about that in the Wealth Creation Show. Are distractions losing you money? Success in business doesn't really come easily and inevitably face you by challenges along the way. Often we allow distractions to invade our lives, and the key to moving forward is to be able to spot these distractions of the most common distractions and eliminate them and before they infiltrate you any further. Are you a yes man or woman? Well, don't be. Don't listen to too many people. Don't do that either. Luckily, you don't need to do anything else. You just need to tune in tomorrow, and we'll talk about tomorrow how distractions end up probably losing you money. And I'll see you tomorrow. Until next time, guys, I'm Jim Parker for Fife Properties TV.